All right, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can anybody hear me? I can hear the fire just fine. Let's see here. It's settings. I'm just gonna put monitor off right now so y'all can hear the fire and I won't. Anyways, what is up, everybody? I'm so sorry for the delay. And thank you for being patient with me. And my shit. Stand by.
There's a big flying roach in the tub.
Okay, that was awkward. Apparently, not everybody's gone to bed yet, but it's alright. Welcome, everybody, to Stories After Dark, Episode 5, where I read some of your favorite creepypastas and some stories I read on my channel just for you. Of course, I'm your host, Evil Outcast. I apologize for the big ass delay. It's because some family has been adamant about watching Sabrina way past midnight, where I'm at, and doesn't consider the fact that I am a YouTuber and I like to entertain my fans and my friends. But then again, these are the people that don't give a shit about me, so there's that. Anyways, I've been trying to look for some lengthy stories for you to fall asleep to or just to get by. So, before we get started, I'm going to do my little roll call. We got Infinite Psychosis, what's up? We got Constable Carnage, what's up? I seen you in the Sociopathics live streams, premieres, and even in the Discord. Oh, and thank you for subscribing to me. And the baby's crying. Anyways, let's move on. Horror Hive. What's up, B-Head? Glad you can make it here. We got Creepy Clown Girl. What's up? Haven't seen you in a long time. How you been? We got Angela May T. What's up? And we got Are You Afraid of the Arts? What's up? Haven't seen you in a while. And we have Bansheeba, Little Miss Bam Bam. What's up? Haven't seen you around either. How was the horror honeys this morning? Sorry, I missed it. And no, Nightbot didn't replace you. He's just a temporary for when my promoters are gone or not yet heard from. All the same, everybody's here to help out. Hang on. And we have Cool Cat. What's up? I hope you're doing well too, and be careful on your way to work. was supposed to have a few people on here, come here to show support, but I guess they took off. Probably Jensen's live stream. Alright. Is the baby crying? I found myself a little lengthy story written by... Oh. Obviously anonymous. We got Mark P in here. What's up? Did you watch the Chills featuring Nightmare Files video? That surprised me. No, I have not, actually. I don't think I've gotten any notifications from him or Nightmare Files. I gotta see if that bell's been clicked or if the Purge unsubscribed me to them. Shit, I feel like I'm being purged. And if y'all can, share this stream with everybody you know. Like, on Discord, on Twitter, on Facebook, anywhere. Our first story tonight is called Black Castle. Hey, Matt Shadow, what's up? You're just in time for our first story. Widow share, thank you so much. I just got a notification that Mr. Reality just posted a new video, 7 real life horror stories. Ooh, I think I might check that out after this stream's over. Oh, if you notice the new music on the Please Stand By card, I've changed it to where I'm trying out the new YouTube music library or whatever, because I've been hearing it on so many other videos or whatever. I figured, okay, so where did all this shit come from? I've been looking for it, blah, 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 blah. And someone pointed in the direction of check the YouTube audio library. I checked it, spooky hip hop, and then there it was. And we got Creepy Clown Girl coming back, and Are You Afraid of the Art coming back. And just lost my story. There it is. Alright. First story is called Black Castle. I was 23 years old. I was backpacking across Europe and visiting friends and sightseeing. My final destination was in Romania. I quickly got sidetracked in the thick forest of Romania. I was lost and scared. Check my levels real quick. Levels, there are 100. Y'all can hear me fine. I was lost and scared and hungry. I hadn't eaten in days. I traveled through the forest for hours. Dusk was coming. I could see a castle. Massive. I thought to myself, is there anything is better than freezing to death in these woods? baby not happy. So I ventured upward towards the castle. I got to the black gates. The castle was monstrous and it looked abandoned, as if nobody had been in it for ages. Hey, Sir Steph, what's up? Glad you can be here. Sorry for the delay. I opened the gates with all my strength, and I proceeded towards the main castle. There was a courtyard filled with gargoyles and tombs and underpasses. The castle was very large and complex. I walked up to the stairs and opened the castle door. The castle was dark and quiet. A staircase led up to top chambers, and there were many halls and other rooms. The halls were lined with paintings from centuries ago. The floors were carpeted with red velvet. The paintings portrayed a woman who looked in her 30s, wearing a blood-red dress. I examined the painting, and the painting stared back. Peekaboo to you too, Saris. I jumped back for a moment, as it looked like the painting was staring at me. I quickly walked away. I got back to the main room and walked up the spiral staircase, leading up to the top chambers. I went up into the room and decided to get some rest. I quickly fell asleep. I woke up during the night to a loud noise. I can hear an echoing from down the corridor. I slowly got up and then peeked my head out the door. I saw a woman in a blood-red dress, black hair and black eyes, staring at me. She began to smile and laugh before she vanished. It was the woman from the painting. I quickly grabbed my things and ran down the stairs. I tripped in my hesitancy and fell and sprained my ankle. I got up and ran over to the door. The door wouldn't open. I slammed the door. It just wouldn't budge. I looked back to the top of the stairs and saw the woman staring down at me. I ran down the door to the other corridors. It was a dead end. I could see her following me down the corridor. There were black shadows following me. The shadows were moaning loudly. As if they were in extreme pain. The moaning got louder. I continued to run faster down the corridor. The corridor was never ending, it seemed. I ran as fast as I could. I felt my feet plunge into the ground. Soon, I was having the sensation of falling. I was falling through a trap door. I was screaming for help. No one could hear my cries this far away, far off into the woods. Especially in this castle. I fell into a well. It was in complete blackness. I was in water. I couldn't see anything. I grabbed the lighter from my pocket and pulled it out and ignited it. Ah, shit, I forgot to send Cater my MP3. Hang on. Pulled it out. I grabbed a lighter from my pocket and pulled it out and ignited it. I was in a well, and the trapdoor was shut hundreds of feet above me. I hate my family, I hate my family, I hate my family. Alright, maybe I could talk normal. Anyways. I was in a well, and the trapdoor was shut hundreds of feet above me. I was trapped down here. I was scared. I kept getting the sensation that I was drowning because I barely knew how to swim. I felt something pulling me under. I was soon pulled under the dark water. I could see a white, long figure pulling me under. It was a faceless creature. I kicked it in the face as hard as I could. I kept gasping for breath. I pulled a pocket knife out of my pocket and began to stab it in the head. I could feel the blade piercing into the creature's head. The creature let out a loud screech and then dove down into the abyss. I swam back up to the surface, gasping for air. I flashed my lighter towards the wall and noticed a vent. I climbed into the vent. I was soaked from the water. The vent was very small, and it was dark, and I couldn't see at all. I was about halfway through, and then I saw a small light at the end. I kept crawling, and I finally got out. I fell into a small room. There was a mirror in the room. I got up and made my way to the mirror. The mirror was massive and was outlined with gold. I could see myself in the mirror. I was covered in black mud, and my hands were covered in blood. I gazed at myself in the mirror. The room began to darken, and I could see my skin peeling. My skin was turning red, and my eyelids were peeling off, and my eyes popped out of my skull. Blood ran from my nose, my ears, and my eye sockets. My skin fell from my bones, and my bones fell to the ground and shattered. I jumped back from the mirror. What just happened? I screamed to myself. I got up and ran as fast as I could. I opened the door and jumped out of the room. I was in a hallway. I could not see the ends of the hallway. It was dark at each end. This is what I deal with. I could not see the ends of the hall. It was dark at each end. I decided to go left. You want me to hold him so you can make the bottle? Jesus Christ. I decided to go left. I started walking down the corridor. The corridor was very long. Why did I hear this before? I can hear a distant voice behind me. I look behind me, and in the darkness, a woman in a long dress. I look behind me, and in the darkness, a woman in a long red dress appeared. I began to run. I ran as fast as I could, but the hallway didn't seem to end. I kept running, and the woman's voice grew louder. If you could see the look on my face right now. I finally stopped and ran into a room. I locked the door and ran to the corner. I could see the doorknob moving as if someone was trying to open it. It stopped after a few minutes. I sat there for a moment, shaking. I was trying to take it in. I was trying to take it all in. I got up, tried to figure out where I was. In the wall was a small elevator that was most likely used to bring things to the basement, to the basements, to the heart. Hold on. In the wall was a small elevator that was most likely used to bring things from the basements to the higher floors of the castle. I crawled into it, and I pulled the lever. If I could hit it one more time. Great, now I lost my place. Okay, I'm just gonna start over from this paragraph. What just happened? I screamed to myself. I got up and ran as fast as I could. I opened the door and jumped out of the room. I was in a hallway. I could not see the ends of the hallway. It was dark on each end. I decided to go left. I started walking down the corridor. The corridor was very long. I could hear the distant voice behind me. I looked behind me, and in the darkness was a woman in a long red dress appeared. I began to run. I ran as fast as I could, but the hallway didn't seem to end. I kept running, and the woman's voice grew louder. I finally stopped and ran into her room. I locked the door and ran into the corner. I could see the doorknob moving as if someone was trying to open it. It stopped after a few minutes. I sat there for a moment, shaking. I was trying to take it all in. I got up and tried to figure out where I was. In the wall was a small elevator that was most likely used to bring things from the basements to the higher floors of the castle. I crawled into it and pulled the lever. I began to descend. It took me about 5 minutes to arrive at the bottom. I crawled out of the elevator and I was in a hallway. It was lit by torches. It was quiet. I crept my way to one of the rooms at the end of the hallway. I peeked my head in, and what I saw... Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. I crept my way to one of the rooms at the end of the hallway. I peeked my head in, and what I saw almost made me vomit. I saw hundreds of bodies hanging from the ceiling, mangled corpses dripping blood. There was something particularly odd about these corpses, though. They were all skinned, as if blood was meant to be collected. I took a step into the room and walked towards one of the bodies that were on the floor. I walked over to it almost as if I couldn't help myself. It was as if I was being controlled. I made my way to the body. The body was in a white robe, covered in blood. The smell was intoxicating. The body turned upward, looked me straight in the eyes, and moaned. I finally broke free and ran out of the room as fast as I could. I ran out into the cold, torch-lit hallway. I could smell blood. All I could smell was blood. I began to vomit. I quickly recuperated, and then ran up the hallway and busted the door open. I was outside. It was cold and windy outside. The sky was a dark gray. I was in a courtyard. I needed to get out of here. I ran back to the entrance, and the gate was sealed shut. I tried climbing, but I just couldn't get out of this damn place. I looked at one of the castle towers, and there was a light coming from the top floor. I decided to go investigate. I ran towards the cemetery, the tower being on the other side. I walked in the cemetery, and I felt as if there was something moving beneath me. I began to sprint, and I finally got to the tower. I ran into the tower. I was welcomed by a woman's laugh. I ran up the stairs to finally confront the woman I had kept seeing. I ran up the room. I saw a woman in red, in a bathtub filled with blood. She got up and stared into my eyes. Her eyes were pitch black, and blood dripped from her body. Her eyes were so seducing that I could not stop staring into them. I broke free. I broke free of the spell and began to run towards her with the pocket knife. She vanished. I look. I looked behind me, and she was there. I quickly looked around the room and looked for something that I could fight her with. I saw mirrors on the wall. They were all turned away from her, almost as if she didn't want to see herself. I ran over to the mirror and pointed it to her and pointed it at her. She began screaming, and the scream was loud and painful. I began to cry. It was so loud and agonizing. I kept doing it, and she started burning. She vanished into dust. I ran out of the tower. And quickly ran out of the gate. The gate was open, as if a magical seal broke off. I ran out of the gate and down the mountainside. I never felt so relieved. I was still covered in blood and mud. I heard a helicopter off in the distance. I lit a fire with my lighter and drew the attention of the helicopter. The helicopter came down. "What happened to you?" the pilot asked. "Just please, get me out of here," I said. I got into the helicopter and we took off. I looked back at the castle as we flew away. I took a deep breath and relaxed. I closed my eyes. I looked to my right, and the woman in red was sitting there, her black eyes gazing into mine. And that was it. I'm sorry if I kept freezing up during moments of intensity, but I keep getting interrupted by family. Let's go back into the comments and see what I had. Yeah, sometimes I burp during my narration recordings. Somebody just told me I should add that into a blooper track. Let's see, let's see what some of you said. Y'all talking amongst yourselves. Feeling slimy skin? LOL. I bet you are. No, Banshee, I didn't. No, Ban, I didn't scare the baby. He's cranky and he's fighting off sleep. And he's hungry. Man Chatter says, "Them stories creeping the baby out for show." Well, he's almost going to be a month old. Probably next week or so, but I don't think he'll understand. Infinite Psychosis says, "I need a new workspace." No, I need a new place. That's what the fuck I need. Good morning. Ooh, the fire crackling sounds really nice, says Tingling Aura. What's up? Glad you could be here. Ill goes Bansheba. Where's the marshmallows? That's a good question. Barf, says Beehead, or Horrorhive. Sets down breakfast sandwich. Oh, I'm sorry if I grossed you out, Tingly. But yeah, that was a very gory story, but I gotta be honest with you, it kept sounding repetitive at times. I don't know if anybody noticed it. And of course, I got the dog locked up because earlier I was eating burgers. Uh-oh, I think it froze. I was eating burgers and the dogs would not stop crowding me. And right now I'm still eating burgers, so I know I gotta move, but the problem is the dude that brought me in here and is taking my money to pay for the mortgage is pretty much dangling my son over my head like he was a carrot. And he's been yelled at about that. And he's still not getting it. He believes money is more important than people getting back on their feet, or if somebody is sick with either the Rona or the fucking bubonic plague or a stomach virus, he won't care. It's all about the money. But I don't know. It's just one big mindfuck after another. Thank you. Are you afraid of the art? I think I said what's up to you. If I didn't, what's up? I would say all of you are in his house, but no, that's my former boss's catchphrase. Kenny Dreadful. I know some of you are still sore at them for that little. I wouldn't say it's an April Fool's prank. It was just something they probably wanted to do, but they decided to take a break from it. But bottom line is, what's done is done. We all need to do what we can to forgive each other. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the burgers I was eating are bacon cheeseburgers. And of course, dogs love bacon. Bacon, bacon. Where's the bacon? I smell bacon. That's how they that's how they get, try to suck up to you. Give me a bacon. And they're arguing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It do be like that sometimes. Yeah, Chatter, you're a laugh riot. Love you, man. Oh yeah, I gotta send Catter my stuff real quick. Give me a second.
You asked me that already. Doing the same thing I was last time you asked me.
You see what I gotta do over there? Anyways, I'll get to my next story. I'll find the next story in a minute, but first I gotta run an errand real quick. Shouldn't take me long. I wish this would cooperate with me. Your phone repeats your last words. Oh my god. Man, why is everybody's phone acting janky? Jinkies! Oh man, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. For some reason, my Discord doesn't cooperate with Google Chrome, so it tends to slow everything down. Let's see. Oh my god. I just saw the gray circle stuff on my phone. I hope I'm not lagging. Let's see, D&D stuffs. And this is going to take a while. I apologize. Upload. Oh, yeah. Says infinite seconds. But yeah, I apologize for that, but the baby mama was ranting and raving about her husband passing his son off to her, and she has shit to do. That and I had to pee. Should have probably never announced it. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off Discord for a while. And get back to you, lovely. This might be a problem. OBS is not responding. That's not good. And some of my icons are gone. Is there any way to pause the stream? Anybody? Alright. This is not good. Alright, mic 1, 2. Show me some hands if you still receiving me. Okay. God, if I have to do another stream, if I had to open up another stream, I'm gonna be pissed. Pissed. Let's see if this works with the screen. Good. One screen. Alright. Let's see here. Let's see what's next. Let's see. Let's see. I guess I can narrate a no sleep story. They're probably gonna say, you can't read that. You didn't get permission. It's like, whatever. Alright. There was one story. Ooh. I can read this one to you live. I've gotten permission from this author known as Nick Moore. And I will warn you, this is not safe for work. This story is called Forever, a Drug. Wait, what's really PG? Spank it, it will start working properly. Only you, Bathsheba. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of background noise because of all the people are still up. But yeah, I've gotten permission from Nick Moore a long time ago. You may have heard the story on my YouTube channel. It's called Forever, a Drug. You want to get high? Scott was bordering on junkie status, and I was always wary of spending time with him. Normally, in the filthy apartment of some dealer friend, while he shot up. It seemed like he was bordering on a collapse, and I was scared of doing the same. I don't know. What are you thinking? On the other hand, I have been despondent since breaking up with Ruth. Maybe something to take my mind off the pain would help. I knew she was better off without me. I was just holding her back. Meet me at Jared's. He said he wants to try something new. This made me feel a little better. Jared was probably the nicest dealer Scott knew, but his stuff was generally sourced well. And his stuff was generally sourced well. Plus his apartment was at least somewhat clean. You know I don't fuck with needles, right? Yeah, man, it's fine. Nothing like that. I showed up at 8 with 3 beers in my system that had failed to calm the nervous energy I was feeling. Whatever, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Jared was happy to see me and poured me a whiskey. I felt a little weird and sat down at the table. He put 3 black pills down in front of us. I got this from a trusted contact overseas, he began. It said it's like nothing else, he smiled. Though the 3 of us could test drive it before I put in an order. See if it's really worth it. Stuff's called Forever. Scott laughed and downed a pill. Jared and I followed suit. I sat down and stared at the TV, waiting for it to kick in. It was fine. I felt really mellow, and sort of like the room, me with it, was stretching in a weird way. We all wound up falling asleep. Woke up the next day feeling fine, and we parted ways. No big deal. Certainly nothing life-changing. Years passed. I never left town. Never really did anything. Could never kick smoking cigarettes either. Wasn't a surprise when the doc told me the blood I was coughing up was cancer. Shit. Too late to do anything. I was alone when I took my last breath. I woke up back at Jared's apartment. Sun streaming through the window. What the fuck? I hallucinated an entire sad life. What was that drug? I mumbled something at Jared and Scott. I walked outside. What a weird dream. I decided I could do more. Maybe that was like a wake-up call. I applied to a job I didn't think I was qualified for and got it. I stopped screwing around, quit smoking, married a nice girl, had a kid who loved to play ball outside. He didn't even see the truck coming by. He didn't even see the truck coming the day he chased his ball into the street. But I did. I probably never moved that fast in my life. Fast enough to push him out of the way, but not fast enough to get myself out of the way. Oh well. What a way to go. protecting someone you love. I woke up in Jared's apartment. Fuck me. What was happening? What the hell was happening? I had to short circuit this. I must still be tripping. I decided to throw myself off the bridge down the street. When I got there, I found I physically couldn't do it. Someone stopped me, so killing myself was out. I had to go home and figure this out. I wasn't paying attention as I walked up the stairs to my apartment. I wasn't paying attention as I walked up the stairs to my apartment. If I had, I would have noticed the neighbor's kid had left a toy on one of them. When I slipped, I tumbled. When I slipped and tumbled, I knew. God damn it. When I slipped and tumbled, I knew it was going to be bad. I woke up at Jared's apartment. Maybe this could be fun. However long this lasts, I can do anything, and it's not real? Like lucid dreaming, but it lasts for decades. I tried a life of crime, got shot coming out of an electronics store. Not cut out for that. It hurt like hell. Screwed around, partied too much, overdosed, back to Jared's when it all goes to hell. I have lived 10 or 12 lifetimes when I saw her, Ruth. It might have seemed weird to have forgotten her, but you have to remember, we had broken up probably 300 years before. She was older, divorced, sad. She married the wrong guy after our breakup. Got abused for years. I was so depressed after our talk. I just walked for hours thinking about how sad her life turned out to be. I had thought I was helping her. Found myself in a rough neighborhood. When I got jumped, I didn't hand over my wallet. That was a mistake. I woke up at Jared's apartment. This time I could fix it. Brought back a bunch of flowers and went to Ruth's. She took me back. We got married. Had a family. We traveled the world. Best friends. It was incredible. The best life I ever had. I died a happy old man. Surrounded by family. I woke up at Jared's apartment. Bought a bunch of flowers. Went to Ruth's. If I'm stuck in this Groundhog Day shit, I know what to do. You know what isn't boring? You know what isn't boring? Living the best goddamn life you can. Twice, 3 times, 10 times, over 9,000. The rough edges get smoothed away. You learn when bad news is coming. When you need to step aside, when you need to sidestep a bad argument. Just absolute happiness. If you can choose happiness, you choose it every goddamn time. Then one day, we were in Paris, celebrating our 30th anniversary. I'd taken this trip with her 20 times. She walked down to the cafe to get me some breakfast. A car jumped the sidewalk and killed her. That had never happened before. The next lifetime was worse. We made it 12 years after our wedding before she got some weird flu variant and died. The next one, she was diagnosed with cancer a year after marriage. We never had kids. The next one, her building had burned down the night I spent at Jared's. I stood outside with flowers in my hand, staring at the smoking ruins. A filthy homeless man walked up next to me as I stared in disbelief.
"Thought you could cheat it, did you?" he said. "Thought he wouldn't notice. But he did."
He started laughing as he walked away.
"But we did.
No.
But he did."
I watched him as he walked away. He turned back from time to smile at me. My lives turned dark. Friends were killed in horrible accidents. Serial killers struck peaceful towns and ravaged their families of those I love. Overdose, disease, murder, death, everything was wrong. The world turned too. Dictators came to power. Wars broke out. Hatred rose. Cities burned. Countries shattered. The world bled. The old man would appear from time to time. Those centuries would sometimes pass between sightings. He always laughed at me, told me that he had me now, always smiled at me. I drifted from one dying port town to the next, finding work where I could, drinking away shitty lifetime after shitty lifetime. I was sitting in the bar in the capital of East Scotland, watching some cable news about a genocide in some country that hadn't even existed in most of my lifetimes. The bartender laughed, and I looked at him clearly for the first time. It was the old man. He smiled at me. "Who the fuck are you?" I growled.
"I've seen him longer than you. He sees you now."
He laughed again. "Where do I go to find him?" He laughed.
"Go to Samar in the Philippines. Not now. In your next lifetime. When you are still young. Find Berrigan. He waits for you there."
He smiled at me and stumbled for the door. I lived a dozen years before a boat I was on went down in the storm. I woke up in Jared's apartment. This time, I immediately started looking for a way to get to the Philippines. I sold my car, walked to work for 6 months, eating the cheapest food I could find. I arrived confused. Turns out Berrigan isn't a real place, or maybe it is. I found work under the table, making money however I could. I asked about the invisible city of local folklore. I asked questions about the lore behind it. I learned how many people who have seen it are victims of demonic possession. I searched for it every chance I got. Years passed by. I lived a visible life, like in the invisible city I sought. The world rotted away, and I still searched. One night I was walking home and a car stopped next to me. I heard a familiar laughing through the window. I looked in and saw the old man. He smiled at me. I got in the car. We drove for hours. The gas gauge never moved. Finally, in the distance, I saw a gleaming city of light. He pulled over and gestured.
"You have to walk from here. He is waiting for you in the center of the city."
He smiled. I got out and walked. It felt like I walked for days, but the sun never came up. and I never grew thirsty. I walked into the gleaming light, I walked into the gleaming, deserted city. I felt drawn to a giant tower in the center of the city. It glowed with the light, despite having no windows and obvious source of illumination. I was not surprised to find a single door at the bottom of the tower. I entered and began to climb. As I went, I heard a voice, deep and old. What the fuck? Okay, that was weird. Deep and old. I couldn't make out the words. I climbed forever. Finally, I reached the door. I opened it and stepped inside, facing a giant black abyss. The voice was everywhere now. Every word ripped me apart.
I watched you cheat me. Did you think you could live your lies forever?
I screamed.
You're with me now. Forever. I destroyed this world.
The abyss closed, and I realized I was staring at a giant mouth. It opened again. I thought of Ruth. The world went black. I woke up in the hospital. Scott jumped up from the chair in the corner.
Oh, dude. I'm so glad you're awake.
What happened? He looked over his shoulder.
We were just about to take those pills and you threw up all over them and then collapsed. You had a crazy fever.
I looked around. How long have I been out?
4 days. Ruth keeps chasing me out of here. Thinks I did this.
He glanced at my suit. He glanced at his shoes.
Nurses don't like me. Nurses don't like me much either.
Why is Ruth here?
She's your emergency contact, dude. Hasn't left your side ever since you got home and slept. Hasn't left your side even to go home and sleep. She's just getting coffee now.
He paused and shifted awkwardly.
Do you have any cash? Jared's kind of pissed that you puked all over his stuff.
I heard an excited shriek and barely managed to turn my head as Ruth launched herself at me. I was in the hospital for another 4 days before getting discharged. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Said it must have been a freak infection. Getting discharged was great. Ruth was picking me up and bringing me to Scott's so I can go with him for his first NA meeting. Seeing me almost die scared him and was trying to straighten himself out. Then Ruth and I had a special date planned. Things were getting figured out. We were thrilled for another chance. I walked out to the curb and waited for Ruth to pull her car around. I stood there in the sunlight, feeling alive for the first time in, I guess, millennia. A nurse rolled another patient in a wheelchair out to the curb, locked his wheels, and walked outside. I felt the breeze on my face and smiled. The old man in the wheelchair laughed. I stared at him and winked.
He let you go. Make sure he doesn't get his teeth into you again.
And then he smiled. This time, I smiled back. And that was forever a drug. Yeah, yeah. Nick Moore is a talented author, and once I read the story before I narrated it and asked permission. Well, once I read the story before I asked permission and narrated it, I was enthralled by how this dude was going through this as he would put it, Groundhog Day type situation where he's living life after life after life. Yeah, all that going through this journey just to get back, try to do right with, not for only for his friends and family, but for himself. Yeah. But yeah, that for after reading towards the end, yeah, that must have been some freaky fever. But I really enjoyed the story. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. But yeah. Oh, this shit's going up fast. Yep, stop. Y'all stop chatting so I can read the chat more. Yeah. Deep and old. That's like my ex-wife. Oh God. Now that's a true horror story right there. More cowbell. You know what? I'm not sure if cowbell is the prescription. But you never know. Sarah says, feel better, Art. Sarah, he was joking around. And Cool Cat said, I really enjoyed that story. Yep, I enjoyed it too. Tingly Horror says, you can't tell me to stop. What do you mean by you can't tell me to stop? I'm confused. Confused Karen noises. Oh, I understand. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm lagging. I understand you're not going to stop chatting, but sometimes I need to go back and read the chat so that way I acknowledge you all. And just letting you know that I love you all. What does that say? Still here, type it up, me story, guys. Says Constable Carnage. Ooh, you got a story. Nice. Yeah, my OBS is fucking up. God damn it. Oh. Also, I forgot to close that up. Maybe that will help. Infinite Psychosis says, is Evil still talking because I can't hear shit? Oh, god damn it. Sorry, guys. I think my shit's fucking up again. God damn it. Can you all hear me now? Are you afraid of art? Says I can hear you the whole time. Okay. Because I saw a gray circle thing of death on my playback screen, and I thought, oh shit. Okay, so we're good. I should be finishing these burgers, but I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat into the microphone and gross you all out. I'll probably eat as soon as I'm done with this live stream. But somebody suggested to me that there was a video with yes, Banshee, but the gray circle of death, the loading circle of death, motherfucker. Mia, what's up? How you doing? I missed you. Sorry, I missed your Horror Honey's stream. I wasn't feeling good. Yeah, there's gonna be a delay because my OBS was fucking up again, and I noticed that there was too many other programs open. So that made a bit of a cause. Alrighty, let's see. Next story. I'm gonna get away from what you call it, from No Sleep. That's your only freebie. But yeah, I was told, somebody told me that there was a video of Chills and Nightmare Files together, and this was recent. So if anybody can find me that video and DM it to me via Twitter or Discord, that would be great. I'll check it out. Aww. Aww, well, thank you. Thank you for coming by, Tingly Horror. Hope you have a great day. Aww. Oh, I'm sorry, Mia. I'm just gonna do something to help you with your writer's block. And to those who are I'm sorry if there's gonna be a delay. So Mia needs brain fiber. I got your brain fiber right here. It's called bread. Alrighty. Could read this story, but here's a story that I did for the horror. I think it was for the Horror Hive. Mia says, Mia Mina says I have to script a minimum of 200, max 2,000 words by Monday at 11:59. Oh shit, that's not good. And if y'all can just click or tap on the live option on your screen to make sure everything's caught up. Because like I said, there's been a delay. Light some candles, put on a good horror flick or cool music, and just try it. Ooh, that sounds like a good idea. I think I've read. Here's another story. I think I read for the Horror Hive at one time, but it was a solo story. I think it was my first story since the demise of Evil Misery. Because irreconcilable differences. I think B-Head might find it familiar, but the next story is called boy. Burp. Next story is called Burp by I. Ron Butterfly. It's the same creators who did In the Garden of Eden. Okay, but all seriousness. This story is called Snow Angel. On the scale of 1 to 10, what's the surest you ever been at any moment that something absolutely sinister was looking straight at you? I read my experience earlier tonight about an 8. I was driving home from my parents' house around 10 p.m. They only live about 10 minutes away. They only live about a 10-minute drive from me. But what a difference 10 minutes makes. They're outside of the country. No street lights. It's Michigan in the middle of the winter. And I made the terrific decision to take a relatively unkept road home. The same road where I collided with a deer not 2 months ago, instantly vaporizing my Christmas fund. It's Deer Central out there. Well, I was headed down this road at about half the speed limit, eyes peeled for some of the four-legged white-tailed terrors. My eyes were starting to get strained by the headlights of an oncoming vehicle. It was at least a half a mile away, but the high beams were on. I guess it was a truck, though I didn't want to look too closely and then be blinded by some furry wrecking machine sauntering out in front of me. So I kept my eyes off the side of the road as much as I dared. As I got closer, I realized I was right. It was a pickup truck, but it wasn't. But it wasn't heading towards me. It was parked on the shoulder, and the emergency lights were blinking. I slowed down even more, waiting to see the telltale signs of a deer collision. Imploded grill, cracked windshield, missing side mirror, and obviously a deer corpse. Once I was alongside the pickup, I still haven't seen any damage. But now that I was out of the lights. Pardon me. Bambi. Shit, I lost my place. Now that I was out of the light's glare, I could see that the truck was pulling a horse trailer. The trailer must have been wired in because the red lights were blinking on and off. Ooh. Can y'all still... Can y'all still not hear me? Okay. The back of the red lights were back. The red lights on the back were blinking on and off in the time with the emergency lights on the truck. I rolled down my window to talk to whoever was in the cab. But once I looked closer, I realized the truck was empty. Hello? I called. No answer. Then I heard the scraping and thumping. It sounded like someone slamming an upside-down bowl onto its surface repeatedly. It was coming from behind the trailer. I looked out my windshield and saw a loop of rough rope making a part of a knot around the handle on the back of the trailer. I couldn't see the rest of the rope, but the knot seemed to be sliding up and down the handle a bit. I inched forward in my car, peering around the corner of the trailer. Suddenly, movement startled me. Then I realized what an idiot I was. The rope led to a harness fastened to a horse. A large brown creature was scraping and stomping its hooves around on the ground. Standing close to the ditch, it was stretching its rope across the back of the trailer. As I pulled up further, it glanced at me, snorted, and went back to stomping. Thinking I was probably irritated at knowing there was no other cars for miles, I switched off my headlights. It kept stomping. I looked at the ground around its hooves. The snow was tossed up and in some spots. The horse has chipped off its bits to the dirt shoulder. He'd been out here for a while. Hello? I called again, fully expecting a response from the dark field on the other side of the ditch. Nothing. I looked at the horse again. Steam shot from its nostrils. Then I looked back at its hooves, the ground around them. I'm not a Boy Scout, but fresh snow makes it fairly easy to piece simple stories together. In a brief, flashing In the brief flashing intervals of dim red lights afforded me by the trailer, I was easily able to make out boot prints alongside the trailer, obviously coming from the cab. They turned and led along the back of the trailer, then into the ditch, past the bubble of red light. Then there were the same boot prints coming up from the ditch, accompanied by hoof prints. Presumably, this guy's horse had gotten out of his barn or pasture nearby. He was out here to retrieve it. That was my Columbo moment. Then there was the whole area in between the horse and the side of the trailer closest to me. I could see the boot prints, but they weren't in a straight line. They seemed to be all over the place, pointing everywhere, like a person jumping around or hopping on one foot to the next. And mixed in with them were other prints. The new prints looked a bit like the inside of a peace sign. A Y with an extra line between the forked lines, about twice their length. There was no real sole or pad, but each toe, if you could call it that, was thick, at least a couple of inches wide, and at the end of each toe print included a long rear protrusion, the handle of the fork, I suppose. The snow seemed to have another flaw in it. Not an imprint, really. More like a slit, like from a claw. These prints were as mixed up as the boot prints were, but tended to stay closer to the road. Whatever made them, the guy wearing the boots would have to get past it to get back to the cab. Out from the mess of prints, both human and, I guess, animal would do, erupted a straight line of boot prints with long strides, heading back along the road, away from the truck and trailer. Past the edge of the red light, they continued into the darkness that I knew would be uninterrupted until the first street light a mile away. The other prints were mixed in with these other ones, weaving in and out of the same line. In other words, following. Their strides were at least as long as the bootman's. I stole one more look at the horse, still clearly agitated, and at the prints right behind the trailer. Now, obviously, snow being white and the trailer's pulsing lights being red, all the snow in the range of the lights was going to be red. But I know it wasn't my imagination But I know it wasn't my imagination that some patches here and there were a different shade of red than the rest. With the dim light and horse's dark fur, it was hard to be sure, but I thought a few long lines were glistening down the animal's side. I like to think I'm not a stupid man. I saw no benefit in staying here to play detective. I decided to distance myself from the horse, trailer, truck, and prints. I flipped my lights on and started rolling away. The horse never stopped staring at me. I swear. It had the closest thing I ever seen on an animal to the expression of a homeless man who hasn't gotten a penny at all day. But as I pulled forward, I wasn't able to make I wasn't make a, I wasn't able to take my eyes off the footprints or whatever prints on the side of the road. About 10 feet past where the red lights would have ended, there was another scuffle. Both sets of prints mashed together. Definitely a couple of spots of dark pink snow. Then, just the boot prints, continuing their journey, but off to one side. They left behind a much larger imprint, roughly human-sized. They were shapes on both sides of the body. They were wide and somewhat wrinkled, like the imprint of the jacket a child would leave after laying in the snow. They fanned out from the main body, leaving drag marks, like something unfurling. They were also ribbed. I admit it was the only viewing I admit I was only viewing this in passing, but I swear I know what I saw. It's hard to describe exactly, but thinking back, I say comparing that shape to a snow angel would seem wrong in more ways than one. I kept moving, picking up just a bit of speed, but I was still going fairly slow so my tires wouldn't burn out on the snow and ice. I could see the three-toed prints moving from the larger shape back to the chase. Just for a few feet, and then they ended. The boot prints carried on for another 40 feet or so, and they ended too. At this point, I had to stop. I don't mean that I really decided that I wanted to. It's like my brain just needed to verify that I was seeing this right. Two sets of prints, one human, one not, both just ending. No signs of the change of course, or a dive to the ground, or anything. Pure, untouched snow on all sides. Well, not totally undisturbed. I think something in my brain was just misfiring at that point. Trying to make it all fit. So I looked back at once at the trailer and truck, highlighted in a blinking red aura. I could see the horse still watching me. And then, in the road ahead of the truck, something shifted. It was the truck's headlights. They bounced. The truck's taillights also bounced. Just a slight dip towards the ground, then back up. Just like a brief pressure of the suspension. Like a brief pressure on the suspension, the trailer shifted just a touch. Then the horse wasn't looking at me. It was looking at the black space above the truck and trailer. The spot on the roof of the trailer had that no light could reach. It was straining against its rope harder than I have ever seen anything fight in my life. My tires burned out briefly before they found traction. So that was my 8 moment. I really lost count how many times on my way home I nearly slid into a ditch. I went sideways once, but I always kept control, using some combination of luck and sheer force of will to not get stranded on the road tonight. Now I'm in my driveway, and I'm wishing my garage door was working. Because right now, I'm having my 10 moment. The porch light is illuminating a portion on the roof. Portion of the roof on one wing of the house. All around me, the freshly fallen snow is undisturbed. But in that one little corner of the roof, I can just make out a pair of imprints marring the scene. I probably don't have to describe them to you. My front door is maybe 30 feet away. 30 feet. I'm wondering if I should try sleeping in the car tonight. The end. I need a drink. I see everybody's subbing to each other tonight. That's good. I want everybody to sub to each other. Infinite Psychosis. I don't think I subbed to you yet. I think we might fix that a little bit. Uh-oh. There we go. But I'm glad everybody's having a good time tonight. Thank you all for being patient with me. And we just surpassed the 2-hour mark. Of course, that was my fault. Is there a large animal out there, like horses, that you are creeped out by in real life? Asked, are you afraid of the art? Not really too sure. I suppose I'm... Nah. I don't know. There's not that many animals that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of spiders. But they're more insect than animal. Animal. I walk on no legs. Oh, I got a friend request. Sweet. On Discord. I disconnected Discord from my laptop because that was causing lag. But I'm also doing it on my mobile phone. My cellular phone. Yes, Mia, we as a horror community should be united together, supporting each other. Yes, I love that. I would love for everybody to try to support each other and be out for each other, whether it be just watching or donating $1 or buying, or it goes so much as buying their merch or whatever. But me, I like to entertain you people, and money is only optional, not mandatory. And I'm not gonna be like this one douchebag that was streaming earlier in the day saying that oh, I'm not gonna throw shade, but these other narrators are doing live readings for profit. I don't do that. Blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. If you're saying you're just doing it for fun and you're monetized, you're pretty much doing it for the money, motherfucker. So don't even give me that shit. And believe me, there are some narrators that and there are some narrators that tend to rub me the wrong way because they tend to run their fucking mouths. My advice to you is, if you're gonna do shit for the money or whatever, and you're just gonna talk down on smaller channels, more smaller than you, then you don't need to be on fucking YouTube, okay? He is a fucking punk. Trust me, if I was married to his mama, I would, and she gave me carte blanche to take the belt to his ass, I would do it. And if anybody knows who I'm talking about and he wants to go tell that, and he's gonna tell everybody that I'm a hammer for speaking truth, then motherfucker, come down to Texas, cause you'll be surrounded by people that'll beat your motherfucking ass. And then we will and I said this before, I live in a state where we know how to hide the bodies. Oh yeah, I'm also against people who love to steal content to make other people's content. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm speaking in mumbles because this motherfucker decides to go into another narrator's channel and steals their content and rips the audio from their video, put on their own videos and make profit off of them. But I'm glad that everybody in the community is banded together and trying to tell YouTube, yo, this audio don't belong to this person, yo. You need to take this motherfucker down. And it's gotten to the point where the sleepless watchdogs are telling all the other authors that they're stealing, that this motherfucker is stealing from another person's channel. Yes, we all need a I'm hoping this bastard has taken him down. But I'm sorry for blowing up on you like that. I'm supposed to be reading you stories, and I'm doing a little rant about video thieves and bear narrators thinking they're big shit, forgetting where they're coming from. He wants to spit on smaller channels like us, like Mia, like Cool Cat, like Mad Chatter, Weekly Creeps, Lace Bucaria, anybody who's under that fucking 10,000s or much, or as low as 1,000. Dude, like I said, if you're just gonna talk shit about smaller channels that forget where you're coming from, you need to get the fuck off of here. You need to get the fuck off the community. You need to get the fuck off of YouTube. Just fucking disappear, because nobody wants to hear your dictating scumbaggery ass. Yeah, and I'm probably going to get a community guideline strike just for saying all this shit. But whatever. I'm not monetized, so. This was a great stream, but I had to head out to work now. Oh, well, have a good day at work, Cool Cat. I hope everything was great. And Mia just sent a link. What's that? And Banshiba says, we had our rant on the show too. Oh, shit. What the hell happened? I think you, me, and Mia need to get into VC, and I gotta find out the juicy details. Ranty is good for the show. Oh, man. You're talking about the same... Ranting good for the soul. I get you. Speaking of ranting, let's look at Twitter. See what's up. I noticed a lot of you have shared my stream, which I thank you. You are all awesome. I need to do I need to actually do a live stream in the next 3 days, says Mia Mina. Well, I'm going to keep that notification on. Notifications on, and be on the lookout for you. Because I love you, my favorite undead ballerina. And Banshiba. And Horror Hive. And, Infinite Psychosis. Are You Afraid of Art? Carnage, Constable Carnage. Creepy Clown Girl. Cool Cat. Or Katie Emily, whatever she wants to call herself. Love Alia. Y'all bring me happiness. Man, Cheddar, I love you, man. Tingly Horror. Of course, she left, so she's probably not going to hear that. I still love her. Oh, Green Hearts. You know, that usually means, and Dizaba Fitzgerald, if you show up a Green Heart, that means you want to come up in the air doing Google Hangouts. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do that without freezing up my computer. Yes, I love you so much. Want to touch the hiney. If you talk to Dame and Mary, tell them I love them too. Well, thank you for coming, all of y'all. And it's almost 3 o'clock over here in my time. What say you? How about one more story before we all head to bed? Well, I know another narrator who says green is her favorite color too. Might send something green over to her place if she trusts me with her home address. Deadline Podcast. The podcast Deadline is on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Oh, that's a... I've been wondering, how do you podcast? Banshiba says who? I can't say. I honestly can't say. That Veronica... Oh, yeah, Billy Madison. I forgot about that. Oh. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. Then again, it's been a while since I've seen all Adam Sandler movies before he became unfunny. I mean, I love the guy to death, but he's pretty much losing his shit. They ain't no funny. Yeah. Get your official merch today. It's crap. Oh yeah, and I also Idiox energy. Nice. Oh, and speaking of my merch store, I have face masks now in 3 different designs, and they're going at $10 a pop. So, if y'all are interested, go check out my merch store. And remember, you need to protect yourself before you wreck yourself. You quoted it a moment ago. Yeah, I know. I know. Are you afraid of the art? Can I just call you Art? Just save us some time. But yeah, yeah, I did quote it. But like I said, it's been a long time since I sat down and actually watched a movie. A funny one at that. Oh, Katie. And I'm looking at my Snapchat, and this one of my lady friends is like, "Want to call?" Like, motherfucker, I'm doing a stream. The fuck, you want me to call during the stream? Can't sit there and notice if you ain't. That's another thing. If you don't notice, if you haven't been getting my notifications, for God's sakes, tell everybody to hit that bell. Punch it, stab it, slice it. I'm trying to word it correctly so that way it'd be more catching. You know, slice that bell for notifications on your next upload or live stream. You know, I'm trying to be creative with my hit that bell for notifications, because I know Lace Ricaria says either stab or caress that bell. No, it was caress that like button. My bad. But yeah, definitely stab. Yeah, I like that. Stab or caress the like button. So much better than beat that like button like it owes you money. So violent. Buzz that bell. Oh yeah, you should definitely use that on your next premiere, Behead. Buzz that bell. Sting that like button. Don't forget, these are your ideas. I was just making suggestions. Aw, Mia shared my live stream. Aw, you're so sweet. I wish I can kiss you. On the cheek. Possess that like bell. Possess that bell. Nah. It'd be too much like taking it away. Or it'll just be ringing around the rosy or whatever. How about, since my character is based off of Japanese lore, I would say toss a shuriken at that. Toss a shuriken at that like button. How's that sound? Not toss a shuriken. Throw a shuriken. And I'm out of cherry Coca-Cola energy drink. It was suggested to me by another narrator I know, Lily C Nation, and it's been helping out a little bit. It's been helping me more than fucking coffee has been trying to keep me up. So I'm a little wired. Like I said, I got time for one more story. And Sheba's got emojis. Punch. Bell. Almost sounds like you're trying to punch a guy in the nuts. Oh yes, here's another story I did a while back for my channel. This story is called well, this is from the original author, the Heretic. The story is called Death Comes for Us All. The intricate design of death's web spares no one. It is the inevitable reality we all face someday. Some sooner than others, but not all of us are unwary of our demise. Not all of us are fortunate enough to live in blissful ignorance, unaware of our own mortality. But once you are caught in the web, like a hapless fly watching as a spider descends upon it, you will see how finite life is. For as easy as life is granted, it can just as easily be taken away. My roommates, Alex and Sam, were the best roommates a guy could ask for. We were always hanging out together, and we were all here for the same reason: have fun and worry about the future another day. We all did fairly well in school, but just did not have the desire to pursue careers after college. We didn't want to become adults yet. There was still more fun to be had. I was majoring in medieval literature. Alex was a history major, and Sam was an art major. I don't know how we managed to do decent in our classes, considering we missed quite a bit of them. Frequent nights at the bar, at the strip club, and at other fun establishments meant that the next morning involved all three of us, indisposed and reeling from alcohol. Thank God for afternoon classes, right? We made some lousy decisions those days, and when you frequently drink like we do, colossal mistakes are bound to occur. Brad, get your ass over here and consume this alcohol beverage, Alex taught me. taunted me. He was clearly inebriated by now, and it was only 9 o'clock. Maybe if you buy something besides Natty Light, I might be more inclined to join you, I retorted. So when are we going to the party? We keep pre-gaming this hard. We might as well invite people here and have our own.
In a minute,
Sam exclaimed. Amidst a sea of slurs.
let me finish this one. We can go.
Being the only sober one in the group, I volunteered to drive. I knew that these drunken heathens would surely attempt if given the chance. The party was only 4 miles away, and we were excited to get our mingle on with the ladies and toss a few back. So we drove moderately above the speed limit in order to appease the loud children in the back. So I drove moderately above the speed limit in order to appease the loud children in the back, who decided that getting them to party safety was the least of their concerns. But it shouldn't have been. In the midst of all the rampancy, oh my god. I read this once and I forget what this. In the midst of all the rampancy, there we go. In the midst of all the rampancy in the back seat, I failed to realize that the light was red. The car struck the right passenger side door, causing our vehicle to roll. Panic consumed me as the car tumbled and spiraled into the chaos. The car landed right side up, but was barely recognizable from the tumbles. My neck was on fire, and I could tell I had fractured my arm. I removed my seatbelt and rolled onto the pavement, taking care to avoid the glass and shrapnel from the now decimated vehicle. I could not see in the back seat from where I was lying, and I feared the worst. Were my friends dead? If so, was I responsible for this? That was guilt that I could never live with. That is when I heard it. Laughing. Laughing was coming from the back seat, and both doors exploded open like ordnance of a howitzer. You can't take that. You can't take us that easy. That all you got? Alex was in an intoxicated stupor, spouting nonsense that you would not expect from a crash victim.
You gotta do better than that, you little shit.
Sam joined in on the crusade, both of them yelling into the heavens. Foolish. How could they not be thankful they survive? Instead, trying to provoke the wrath of God. The alcohol had totally consumed them. It turned them into walking Neanderthals. I called 911 and emergency crews arrived shortly. Luckily, the man who hit me was also drunk, so I felt less guilt for the mistake. Sam and Alex refused to be taken to the hospital, even though Sam's leg was badly bruised and his head was bleeding profusely. Alex seemed unaffected, except for his dislocated shoulder. I had several fractures in my left arm, and minor whiplash affected my neck. Considering how disastrous that crash was, we were damn lucky. I sat in the hospital, angry at my buddies for their distracting behavior, and also mad at myself for not taking control. How could I have been so careless? The irony that the mature, sober individual was responsible. At least my roommates had a positive outlook on the situation. Fuck. I still couldn't believe that Nazis they foolishly spewed at the scene of the accident. But I was just glad we were all alive. I felt like we were given a second chance, and I was grateful I still had my life, unlike my foolish friends. It was an extensive and laborious 3 months until my arm was healed. I could not drive during this time, so I hitched a ride with Alex to class every day. Until one night... Until one afternoon, something bizarre happened.
Brett, come on. Brett, hurry up. I hate being late for class. Move your ass.
Sam always had to be as abrasive as possible when picking me up. I'm coming. You try doing anything timely and efficiently with a fractured arm, I replied, hastily and out of breath.
Yeah. So how's it feeling? You think it's almost healed? I'm getting tired of chauffeuring your ass. I'm getting tired of chauffeuring your ass everywhere.
Oh wait, that's Alex. Yeah. So how's it feeling? You think it's Fuck. Yeah. So how's it feeling? You think it's almost healed? I'm getting tired of chauffeuring your ass everywhere, Alex said quite humorously. It's getting better. It hurts much less than it used to, but the doctor said not to force my recovery, I said. As I was replying, a look of dread consumed his normally collected demeanor. He pulled over, hyperventilating and staring into my rearview mirror. I'd never seen him like this before, and it gave me chills. Brett, look in your rearview mirror. Tell me I'm hallucinating. I looked at the mirror. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear, I said. No shit, but did you see it? Alex was frantic. No, I didn't see anything. You feeling okay? You sure something didn't happen to you in the accident? What did you even see? I was curious to know what spooked him. Alex swallowed hard and began to speak. I saw me. I was standing there. Then suddenly, my neck slowly started to slit. Just as the blood started. You know what? I'm not going to do the voices. Just as the blood started to seep out of my neck, a dark, shaded figure placed his hand on my shoulder. He stopped there, refuses to speak anymore. I didn't believe him. I mean, how could I? He was just in an auto accident. And I claimed to have no injuries. He was just in an auto accident and have claimed to have no injuries. Something had to be wrong. It had been a week since that bizarre event, and my arm had finally improved to the point I could drive. I was in my car driving to class when I got a phone call. It was Alex. It happened again. I saw it again, bro. This time, it was closer. I saw my face closer this time. I could see every detail, but the blood, man. There was more blood this time. It came out faster, and I could feel something breathing down my neck. Alex was stuttering, and began hyperventilating. Calm down. Calm down, Alex. Just calm down for a second. I think you should go to the doctor and have them re-examine you from the accident, I said assuredly. Click. He hung up on me. I decided to head home and see if Sam was there. Maybe he could make some sense out of this. Maybe he knew something I didn't. When I got home, Alex was sitting in the living room. He turned towards me immediately, and I could tell something was seriously wrong. Sweat poured down his face, and he was staring at me with an unwavering gaze that pierced through me. The gaze of terror a man feels when he watches an Iron Maiden close around him, unable to resist.
I've seen it, Brett. I've seen it too. In my rearview mirror. I've seen it every day ever since the first time I saw it. It is all I see now.
Sam's voice was shaking and tormented. See what? Alex said the same thing. Did you see yourself? I said. I tried to remain calm, as Sam seemed like he would snap at any second.
I saw a slit appear on both my wrists, going vertical. There were tears running down my face as I watched the blood seep out and pour around my feet. Every time I see it in the mirror, the next time it appears closer and closer. Today it was so close I could see a shade of a figure standing behind me. Something I haven't noticed before. It has to end, Brett. I can't stand living anymore.
I laughed aloud, breaking the repulsive facade. You're right, Sam. It has to end. But it didn't have to be this way. Who are you to defy death? When one evades him, he is grateful. But you spit on his name and openly provoked him. Did you not think that there were consequences for your actions? No matter. The mirror was your harbinger, and I am its arbiter. Sam didn't move as his wrist began to open. A tempest of blood cascading to the ground. His eyes said betrayal. But it was he who betrayed. He who dared beguile his savior. A dark shadow enveloped him as his soul was siphoned from his body. I can hear bone breaking and limbs snapping. He slumped to the ground, hollow and lifeless. I disposed of the body in preparation for the next harvest. Alex would be home soon. I heard a rattle of keys as Alex struggled to open the door. He greeted me in a panic. Brett! Thank God you're here. Every day I see myself die, but now something is following me. Everywhere I go, it tries to envelop me. You have to help me, Alex said, struggling to connect his words. Oh, I will. I will help you. I will end this nightmare for you, once and for all, I said, maintaining a ghastly grin. Alex's neck began to open up, little by little. You! These visions! It was you! He struggled to talk. He's gasping as the blood trickled out like sap sliding down a tree. Why? He whispered at this point, unable to speak. I have always been fascinated with medieval art. literature, and culture. It wasn't until I read about the Black Plague did I start to realize the connection. It wasn't just a plague. It was a reckoning. A mass harvest of sinners. It could not be a coincidence that nearly all cultures referred to death as an entity or being. Don't you agree? I believe that he holds our lives by a thread and can cut it whenever he sees fit. When we survived that accident, we were given a second chance, and you took it for granted. No, you and Sam took it for granted. And because of your arrogance, I was chosen to execute his will. I could feel his will coursing through my veins. Sam, what did you do to him? Alex was hanging on by a thread. One more would soon be snapped. His sins have been punished. Now it's your turn. Close your eyes and welcome oblivion. Alex's throat tore open completely, revealing a torrent of blood that saturated the room in crimson glory. His eyes glared at me with regret and hopelessness as he approached his grand finale. I basked in the blood, smearing it across my body as Alex's soul was extracted by the darkness, leaving only a desolate husk. Death comes for us all, but sometimes it isn't our time to go. Sometimes he shows mercy and spares our life. But know this: be grateful for this opportunity. Cherish your life and know that he has deemed you worthy. But this blessing isn't guaranteed. For as easy as life is granted, it can be just as easily be taken away. The end. I sounded pretty sinister, didn't I? Yeah. Of course, I did it for my channel a while back and everything. Thank you all. Thank you. Major props, Dance. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around. I think I scared some people away. Or put them to sleep. If that's the case, I did a good job. Yeah, I should consider drinking more water instead of soda. But yeah, we're almost at the 3-hour mark. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I'm probably going to do some edits on this live stream, but I don't know. I'd rather just leave it at this, but like I said, I don't really give a shit anymore. Somebody hears it and takes offense to it, well, thank you. Thank you for watching. And if somebody dislikes the stream, thank you for watching. Fuck you, but thank you for watching. And so far I have not gotten any dislikes, which is a good thing. Alright, well, I guess that's going to do it for me for tonight. Next time I'm going to try to be a little more, how you say, spontaneous, you know. Try to pick a better days so that way none of this happens again. No delays, no nothing like that. But I'm going to end with the usual spiel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. And be sure to follow me on my all my social media stuffs: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Should be changing my description sometime soon. And if you'd like to see this channel grow and see it do better in quality, you can consider donating to my Patreon or my PayPal. And make sure, if you want to represent me in your own way, don't forget to check out my merch store. Buy the t-shirts, mugs, face mask, do whatever. It's a great way of supporting this channel, and it's a great way of supporting others. So with that said, I'm gonna turn this light. Y'all stay safe, take care, wash your hands, wipe your ass, do what you can to protect yourself from the Rona. And if you ever want, to, you have any written stories that you would love yours truly to narrate, you can always submit them to my subreddit at reddit.com/r/eviloutcaststories, or you can send them my email at the.evil.outcast84@gmail.com. But for now, I bid you farewell. Thank you all for coming here tonight, especially those that ducked out early. I understand that you have a sleep schedule to follow, so please take care. And until next time, I'm Evil Outcast, and always remember, always be wary when you're in the shadows. Yeah, I'm still working on my ending catchphrase, but yeah. Y'all take care. Good night. No, that will never fly by.